The great hall of Station Terminus 7 was filled with noise and light. Hundreds of beings from dozens of worlds had gathered here tonight. They came to celebrate 5 years since humans joined the Galactic Union. It was a big event. The kind of event where important people said important things and everyone pretended to listen. Ambassador Park stood near the back of the hall. She held a glass of something blue that they called a celebration drink. She had not tasted it yet. She was too busy watching. Was a small woman with sharp eyes and black hair pulled back in a simple style. She wore the gray uniform of Earth's diplomatic corps. Nothing fancy. Nothing that drew attention. That was how she liked it. In her 32 years of life, she had learned that the best way to understand others was to watch them when they thought no one was looking. The hall was beautiful. Great windows showed the stars outside. Lights floated in the air like tiny suns. Music played from somewhere, though could not see any musicians. Different species stood in groups, talking and laughing in their own ways. Some had too many arms. Some had no arms at all. Some floated. Some crawled. The galaxy was a strange and wonderful place. Was about to take her first sip of the blue drink when she heard the clicking sound. She knew that sound. She turned and saw them approaching. 3 tall insect-like beings with shells that shined like oil on water. They walked on 4 legs and had 2 arms that ended in sharp claws. Their heads were triangular, with large compound eyes that saw in many directions at once. When they spoke, their mandibles clicked together in a way that their translator devices turned into words. The leader was bigger than the others. His shell was darker, marked with scratches and dents that spoke of battles survived. His name, remembered, was Commander. He led exploration teams for the military. Human Ambassador said. His voice through the translator was deep and proud. "We have been looking for you." Set down her untasted drink. "Commander, it is good to see you again. How was your journey?" "Most excellent," replied. He stood taller, which knew was the way of showing pride. "In fact, that is what we wish to discuss. We have just returned from a great expedition." Oh, kept her face polite and interested. "Where did you go?" To Earth." The words made go still for just a moment. Other delegates nearby turned to listen. Earth expeditions were rare. Earth was dangerous. Everyone knew this. "We spent 3 full rotations on the surface," continued. His mandibles clicked faster now, excited. "In the wild places, the places with no human cities." "That is very brave," said carefully. "It was necessary. My people needed to understand why humans are so resilient. We thought the answer might be found in your environment." His compound eyes seemed to glow with memory. "And we found it. Your world is harsh. Your predators are fierce, but we survived." More delegates gathered now. An ambassador named floated closer. Was a being made of something like clear jelly, with lights that flickered inside when it thought hard about things. "You survived Earth's surface?" asked. Its voice was like bubbles popping. "Truly." "Truly," said. "We walked in your northern forests. We saw your wolves. Great pack hunters with teeth like knives. They stalked us for 2 days." "What happened?" someone asked. "We stood our ground, showed strength. They left us alone," clicked his claws together. "Then we went to your grasslands, in the place you call Africa. There we met your lions, your hyenas, your wild dogs." "Dangerous creatures," said softly. "Very dangerous, but predictable. They hunt to eat. They protect territory. Once we understood this, we could avoid conflict." Turned to address the whole crowd now. "We even saw your great water creatures, the ones you call crocodiles, ancient predators, cold eyes, many teeth, but slow on land, easy to avoid if you are careful." The crowd murmured with amazement. They had walked on Earth and lived. This was news. This was impressive. Rippled with something like admiration. "Commander, you have done what few non-humans have ever done. Earth is classified as a Class 7. Your survival is a testament to strength." Stood even taller. His 2 companions clicked their mandibles in agreement. "We have proven something important tonight," announced. "Earth is dangerous, yes, but its dangers can be overcome. With proper training and equipment, any species can survive there. The predators are fierce, but they are just animals. They can be understood. They can be defeated." The crowd made sounds of approval. Several delegates raised their drinks in salute to the brave explorers. Watched all of this quietly. She had not moved. She had not spoken, but something in her eyes had changed. Something that looked almost like pity. When the noise died down, she spoke. Her voice was soft, but somehow it carried through the whole hall. "Commander, may I ask you something?" Turned to her. "Of course, Ambassador." "You said you went to the northern forests and the African grasslands. You met wolves and lions and crocodiles." "Yes, the most dangerous predators your world has to offer." Smiled. It was a small smile, gentle, the kind of smile a mother gives a child who has said something innocent and wrong. "Commander," she said, "you met the harmless ones." The hall went silent. Every being stopped moving. Every translator paused. His mandibles stopped clicking. His compound eyes locked onto's face. "I do not understand," he said. Picked up her blue drink again. She still did not taste it. "I know," she said. "That is the problem." The silence in the great hall was heavy. It pressed down on everyone like a weight. Commander stared at Ambassador Park with all of his compound eyes. He did not understand her words. He did not like not understanding. "Harmless," repeated. His translator made the word sound sharp. "You call wolves harmless. You call lions harmless. I watched a lion kill a creature twice its size. I saw wolves work together like soldiers in battle. These are not harmless things." Nodded slowly. "You are right. They are not harmless to their prey. They are not harmless to the weak or the sick or the unlucky. But Commander, those animals did not want to hunt you. They did not chase you across continents. They did not follow you into your ship. Did they?" Was quiet for a moment. "No, they did not. Because they are territorial predators. They hunt to eat. They kill to survive. When you showed them you were not easy prey, they moved on. They found something easier." Set down her glass and walked toward a display terminal on the wall. "May I show you something?" The crowd parted to let her through. The floated behind her, lights flickering with curiosity. Followed, his two companions close behind. Soon, half the delegates in the hall had gathered around the terminal. Touched the screen. It glowed to life, showing the symbol of Earth's government. "When humanity joined the Galactic Union 5 years ago, we were required to submit a catalog, a list of all dangerous species on our planet." She pulled up a file. Numbers and images scrolled across the screen. "We submitted approximately 3,000 entries. Wolves, bears, lions, sharks, crocodiles, snakes, all the things you would expect. We studied this catalog," said. "It was part of our preparation." "I know, and that catalog is accurate. Every creature in it is real and dangerous." Paused. Her fingers hovered over the screen. "But that catalog represents less than 4% of Earth's predatory species." The silence returned, heavier than before. His form wobbled. 4%, but that would mean. "It means we only listed the ones big enough to see with your eyes." Touched the screen again. New images appeared. These were different, microscopic. Things that looked like monsters from nightmares but smaller than a grain of sand. "These are the real predators of Earth." The screen showed bacteria, viruses, parasites, things with too many legs, things with no legs at all, things that were just shapes, just patterns, just hunger given form. "This," said, pointing to a spiral-shaped thing, "is called a spirochete. It causes a disease we call syphilis. It has killed millions of humans over thousands of years. You cannot see it. You cannot hear it. You cannot feel it enter your body. By the time you know it is there, it has already begun to destroy you." She moved to another image, a round thing covered in spikes. "This is a virus. We call it influenza. The flu. Every year it changes. Every year it kills thousands of our people. We have been fighting it for centuries. We have never won. We just keep fighting. More images, more horrors, things that lived in water, things that floated in air, things that hid in food, in soil, and the bodies of other creatures. Earth has millions of these species. Millions. They do not hunt like wolves or lions. They do not need strength or speed or teeth. They just need to get inside you. One tiny organism in your blood, your lungs, your brain. That is all it takes. His mandibles had stopped moving. His companions had backed away from the screen. You survived 3 rotations on Earth's surface, continued. You wore environmental suits, yes, full containment, filtered air. Yes, standard protocol for hostile environments. Good, that is the only reason you are standing here tonight. Turn to face him directly. If you had breathed unfiltered Earth air for 1 hour, you would be dead. Not might be dead, would be dead. Certainly. Absolutely. One of his companions made a sound, a frightened click. Earth air is alive, said. Every breath a human takes contains thousands of bacteria, viruses, fungal spores, microscopic creatures looking for a home. We evolved with them. Our bodies know them. We have been at war with them since before we were human, and our immune systems are the weapons we built. She pulled up another image, a simple creature, 6 legs, wings, a long needle-like mouth. Do you know what this is? Studied it, an insect of some kind. We call it a mosquito. It weighs almost nothing. It has no venom, no claws, no strength. A human child could crush it with 1 finger. His voice grew quieter. This creature has killed more humans than every war in our entire history, combined. No one spoke. It does not kill directly. It carries diseases from one host to another. Malaria, yellow fever, dengue. It drinks blood, and in that simple act it has shaped the course of human civilization. Entire empires have fallen because of this tiny thing. Lights were flashing rapidly now. Fear, there was afraid. Why did you not tell us? Asked. Why is this not in your catalog? Smiled sadly. Because you asked for a list of dangerous animals. You asked for predators, things that hunt, things that kill. She gestured at the microscopic images on the screen. These do not hunt, they do not think, they simply exist, they spread, they consume, they are not evil, they are not cruel, they are just alive the same as us. She turned off the screen. The images disappeared, but no one in the hall would forget them. You survived wolves and lions, Commander. You should be proud of that. Most beings would not be brave enough to try. Walked back toward her abandoned drink. But you did not survive Earth. You visited Earth. You touched the surface of something you do not understand. She picked up her glass. This time she finally took a sip. And you met the harmless ones. The crowd in the great hall had grown larger. Word had spread through Station Terminus 7 that something interesting was happening. Delegates who had been in other rooms now pushed their way inside. Everyone wanted to hear what the human ambassador was saying. Commander had not moved. He stood before Ambassador Park like a statue made of shell and confusion. His pride had been shaken. His confidence had cracked. But he would not show fear. You speak of tiny things, said. His voice was steady, but his mandibles clicked nervously. Bacteria, viruses, these are threats to all worlds. We have them too. We have medicines, treatments. Surely humans do as well. We do, admitted. We have been building medicines for thousands of years. And for thousands of years, the tiny things have been changing, adapting, becoming stronger. It is a war without end. But you survive. Your species grows. You spread across your world and beyond. Yes, because fighting is what we do. Paused as a new figure pushed through the crowd. Ah, good timing. The man who approached was short and solid, built like a stone that had learned to walk. His name was Lee. He was the security chief for Earth's diplomatic station. Before that, he had been a wilderness ranger in the mountains of his homeland. His face was calm, his eyes were tired, and his hands looked like they had done hard work for many years. "I heard there was a discussion about Earth," said. His voice was deep and slow. "I thought I might help." "Commander was telling us about his expedition," explained. "He survived 3 rotations in our forests and grasslands." Looked at the commander. There was no judgment in his eyes, no mockery, just understanding. "Forests and grasslands," he repeated. "Did you go to the water?" Shifted on his 4 legs. "We observed some rivers, some lakes. We did not enter them." "Smart choice." Walked to the display terminal that had used before. "May I?" Nodded. Touched the screen. New images appeared. Water. Dark blue water that seemed to go down forever. "Your expedition covered perhaps 2% of Earth's surface," said. "The forests and grasslands you visited. That is land. But land is not where most of Earth's life exists." He pulled up a map. A globe of blue and green and white. 70% of our world is covered in water. Oceans, seas, the deep places where sunlight does not reach. That is where the real Earth lives. The screen changed to show underwater footage. Dark shapes moving in darker water. Eyes that glowed. Teeth that gleamed. "We call this the midnight zone. It begins about 1,000 meters below the surface. No light, cold that would freeze your blood, pressure that would crush your ships like paper." His voice remained calm, like he was describing the weather. "We have explored less than 5% of it. We do not know what lives down there. Not really. We find new species every year, things that should not exist, things that break the rules we thought we understood." The screen showed a creature. Long and pale, with a body like a ribbon and a mouth like a cave full of needles. "We call this a gulper eel. It can swallow prey larger than itself. Its jaw unhinges. Its stomach stretches. It does not care how big you are. It will try to eat you anyway." Another image. A squid with eyes the size of dinner plates. "Colossal squid, the largest invertebrate on Earth. We have found them with scars on their bodies. Sucker marks from something even bigger, something we have never seen." Made a small sound. His companions had retreated several steps. "Your wolves hunt in packs of 10 or 20, continued. "Our oceans contain fish that hunt in schools of millions. They move like one creature, one mind. When they attack, the water turns red." He changed the image again. A small thing this time, beautiful, delicate, like colored glass floating in water. "This is a jellyfish. Some of them have no brain, no heart, no blood. They are almost nothing, just water and poison and hunger." He paused. "Some of them can kill a human in 4 minutes. The pain is so great that people have drowned because they could not swim. They could not think. They could only scream." The head drifted backward until it was pressed against the wall. Its lights were dim now. Fear had made it quiet. "But the water creatures stay in the water," said. His voice was weaker now, hopping. "On land we would be safe from them." Turned off the screen. He looked at with something like sympathy. "Commander, nothing on Earth stays in one place. Our birds fly thousands of kilometers to find food. Our fish swim across entire oceans to lay eggs. Our insects swarm in clouds that block the sun." He stepped closer to the, "And our bacteria go everywhere. In the air, in the water, in the soil, in the bodies of every living thing. You cannot hide from them. You cannot run from them. You can only fight them, every moment of every day, and hope you are strong enough to survive." The hall was silent. Even the floating lights seemed dimmer. Spoke again. Her voice was gentle. "This is not meant to frighten you, Commander. It is meant to explain something." "Explain what?" asked. "Explain us." Walked to stand beside. "Humans are not special because we are strong. We are not special because we are smart. Many species in this room are stronger and smarter than us." She placed her hand on shoulder. The security chief did not react. He was used to being an example. "We are special because we come from a world that has been trying to kill us since the first human drew breath. Every generation, every year, every day, something on Earth is hunting us, and we are still here." nodded slowly. We do not run from predators. We became the predator, not the strongest, not the fastest, but the most stubborn, the most persistent, the one thing on Earth that never ever stops. Looked at the two humans, small, soft, no shells, no claws, no venom, and somehow impossibly still alive. How? He asked. The word was almost a whisper. How did you become the dominant species on such a world? Smiled. That is a longer story. Would you like to hear it? Could only nod. The delegates had found seats. Some sat on chairs designed for their bodies. Some floated. Some simply folded their many legs beneath them and waited. The celebration had become a lesson. The party had become a story. No one minded. This was more interesting than dancing. A new human had joined, and her name was. She was young, perhaps 28 years old, with quick eyes and quick hands. She was a scientist. She studied how life worked on different worlds. Tonight, she would explain how life worked on her own. Commander asked how humans became dominant on Earth, said. She had it in her hands, but she did not look at it. She had memorized these facts long ago. The answer is simple. We refuse to die. She walked to the center of the room where everyone could see her. Millions of years ago, our ancestors were not hunters. They were prey. Small creatures that hid in trees and ate fruit and ran from anything with teeth. They were not strong. They were not fast. They had no armor, no venom, no claws worth mentioning. Held up her hand, 5 fingers, soft skin, short nails. This is what we had, hands that could grip, eyes that could see colors, brains that could remember, that was all. She began to pace slowly, like a teacher in a classroom. But we had one other thing, something no other creature on Earth had developed quite the same way. We could sweat. Several delegates made confused sounds. Sweat did not seem like a weapon. Let me explain, continued. Most Earth predators hunt in short bursts. A lion will chase its prey for maybe 1 minute. Then it must stop, rest. Its body overheats. It cannot continue. She pulled up an image on her and projected it for all to see. A human running, just running, nothing special about it. Humans can run for hours, days if necessary. Our bodies cool themselves through sweat. We lose heat while we move. Other animals cannot do this. They must stop. We do not stop. The image changed. Now it showed ancient humans, barely clothed, following a wounded animal across a dry plain. This is how our ancestors hunted. They did not chase prey to catch it quickly. They followed it, slowly, steadily, for hours, for days. The prey would run, then rest. Run, then rest. Each time the humans would appear again, still following, still coming, never stopping. His voice grew quieter, but somehow more intense. Imagine that. Imagine being hunted by something that never tires, never gives up. You run until your legs burn, you hide until your heart slows, you think you are safe, and then you see them again, walking toward you, patient, calm, knowing that eventually you will fall. No one in the hall spoke. We call this persistence hunting. Our ancestors did not need to be faster than their prey. They just needed to be more stubborn. And we were. We always were. Stepped forward. This is what Earth taught us. This is what we learned in our bones, in our blood, in every part of ourselves. Never stop. Never give up. Keep going until you win or until you die. There is no third option. Nodded. It is why we spread across Earth. Into the frozen north where nothing should survive. Into the burning deserts where water is more precious than gold. Into the high mountains where the air is too thin to breathe. Other animals looked at these places and turned away. We looked at them and said, we can live there. Watch us. Put away her. But the hunting never stopped. Even after we became the dominant species, even after we built cities and machines and ships that could reach the stars, the hunt continued. She looked at Commander directly. Do you know what killed the most humans in all of history? Not wars, not predators, not accidents or disasters. She paused. Disease, invisible killers, plagues that swept across continents and left millions dead. The screen lit up again. This time it showed bodies, old images from human history, cities empty, mass graves, people crying in the streets. We call this the Black Death. It happened about 700 years ago. It killed between 75 and 200 million humans, almost half of everyone in some regions, in just a few years. The numbers hung in the air. Even species that did not think like humans could understand those numbers. That was a lot of death. And we survived, said. Not because we were immune, not because we found a cure. We survived because there were always more of us, because we kept having children even while we were dying, because we refused, absolutely refused, to let anything wipe us out. She turned off the images. The hall was left in soft light. This is what humans are. This is what Earth made us. We are the species that keeps fighting even when we are losing. We are the hunters who never stop chasing. We are the survivors who bury our dead and keep walking. Walk to stand beside. Commander, you asked how we became dominant. This is the answer. We did not become dominant because we were the best. We became dominant because everything else that tried to kill us eventually grew tired. And we did not. Was very still. His compound eyes reflected the soft light of the hall. For a long moment he said nothing. Then slowly he spoke. Your world sounds like a nightmare. Considered this. Perhaps, but it is our nightmare. We were born in it, raised in it, shaped by it. And now when we look at the rest of the galaxy. She smiled again, that same gentle, knowing smile. We are not afraid. We have already survived the worst. Everything else is just adaptation. Looked at the three humans standing before him, small, soft, fragile-looking, and utterly, completely unbreakable. I think, he said slowly, that I am glad humans are our allies. Laughed softly. So are we, Commander, so are we. The celebration had changed. What began as a party had become something else, something deeper. The delegates no longer stood in separate groups divided by species. They had gathered together, all of them, around the three humans who had shown them the truth about Earth. Ambassador Park looked at the faces around her. So many different kinds of eyes. Some had pupils, some had none. Some glowed with inner light. Some were just dark spots on stranger shapes, but all of them were watching her, waiting, wanting to understand. I know this is difficult to hear, said. Her voice was warm. She did not want to frighten anyone. She only wanted them to know. Earth is not like other worlds. We did not evolve in a garden. We evolved in a war. She walked slowly through the crowd. Beings parted to let her pass. No one wanted to miss what she would say next. Every living thing on Earth is a soldier in that war. The plants fight for sunlight. The animals fight for food. The bacteria and viruses fight for hosts. There is no peace on Earth. There has never been peace. Life, there is a battle that started 4 billion years ago and has never stopped. Spoke from where he stood. Humans think this is normal. When we first met other species, we were surprised. We thought all worlds were like ours. We thought survival was always a fight. It is not, they said. The alien's voice was soft like water over stones. My world is calm, warm. Our predators are few and slow. We evolved to think, to build, to create, not to fight. Many worlds are like yours, agreed. The galaxy is full of gentle places, worlds where life grew without competition, without danger, without the need to become hard and sharp and relentless. She stopped walking. She stood in the very center of the hall, surrounded by the delegates of 32 species. Earth is not one of those worlds. Earth is what happens when a planet tries to kill everything on it, and life refuses to die. Stepped forward. She had been quiet for a while, thinking. Now she wanted to add something. I study alien life, she said. It is my job to understand how different species evolved, and I have learned something interesting in my years of research. She looked around the hall. Most intelligent species in the galaxy evolved because their worlds were safe. They had time to think, time to develop, time to build civilizations without worrying about being eaten or infected or destroyed. She paused. Humans did not have that time. We built our civilizations while fighting for survival every single day. We invented medicine because disease was killing us. We invented weapons because predators were hunting us. We invented cooperation because alone we were weak, but together we were strong. His voice grew softer. Everything we are, everything we have become is because Earth forced us to be better, stronger, smarter, faster, more adaptable, more determined. If we had evolved on a gentle world, we would not be humans, we would be something else, something softer, something that did not know how to fight. Commander had been listening carefully. Now he spoke. You make it sound like your world was a gift, but it sounds like torture. Turn to face him. Both things can be true, Commander. Earth hurt us. Earth shaped us. Earth made us what we are. We do not love our world because it was kind to us. We love it because it made us strong enough to survive anything. She walked back to where and stood. The three humans stood together, a small group surrounded by hundreds of aliens who now looked at them differently than before. This is the lesson we wanted to share tonight, said. Not to frighten you, not to boast, but to explain. She took a deep breath. When humans joined the Galactic Union, some species were worried. They saw us as aggressive, dangerous, unpredictable. They wondered if we would bring war and violence to the stars. She shook her head slowly. We did not come to the stars to fight. We came because we had finally won the war at home. We had survived everything Earth could throw at us. We had beaten diseases that killed billions. We had outlasted predators that hunted us for millions of years. We had conquered a world that wanted us dead. Her eyes moved across the crowd, alien after alien, friend after friend. After all that, what could the galaxy possibly do to scare us? The question hung in the air. No one answered, no one could. Stepped forward. He reached out his hand toward Commander, the human gesture of friendship, of peace. We are glad you visited Earth, Commander. We are glad you saw our forests and our grasslands. We are glad you met our wolves and our lions. His face was calm, kind, and we are very glad you made it back safely. Looked at the offered hand. He had learned about this gesture. It meant trust. It meant that neither person was holding a weapon. Slowly, carefully, he reached out his own claw and touched his hand. I think, said, that I will recommend my people never visit Earth again. Laughed, it was a warm sound, probably wise. But continued, I will also recommend that we strengthen our alliance with humanity. If what you say is true, if your species has truly survived all of this, then there is no better friend to have in a dangerous galaxy. Smiled, that is the best thing anyone has said all night. The celebration resumed, but it was different now. Delegates who had once looked at humans with suspicion now looked at them with something like respect, something like wonder. And through the great windows of Station Terminus 7, Earth hung in the distance, a blue and white marble against the black of space, beautiful, peaceful, and utterly, impossibly, terrifyingly alive. The three humans stood together, watching there. Do you think they understand now? Asked. Considered the question. They understand more than they did, whether they truly grasp what Earth is, what it means, what it made us. She shrugged. That might take longer. Nodded. It took us millions of years to understand it ourselves. They stood in silence for a moment, survivors of a world that never stopped trying to kill them, now standing among the stars, still alive, still fighting, still refusing to give up. Raised her glass. The blue drink caught the light of distant suns. To Earth, she said, the world that made us. And raised their own glasses. To Earth, they echoed. And somewhere far below, on that blue marble of a world, something was already evolving, already adapting, already preparing for the next battle in the war that would never end. The hunt continues, it always does. But humans were ready, they always are.